Now that you understand how to figure out sig figs, we need to see how we can use that to properly calculate in chemistry class. Essentially, again, the fact that chemistry, most of its math comes from measurements, and there are errors in every measurement, then we have to be able to properly answer a calculation, not giving a quote-unquote better answer than what the measurements can dictate. So here we have an example. What if you wanted to calculate the area of a room that was 9.25 meters wide and 5.25 meters long? Well, of course, to find area, we would do length times width. So I would take the 9.25 meters times the 5.25 meters. Now you type those numbers into your lovely calculator, boop, 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 and this is the answer that you would get. 48.5625 meters squared. Is that answer correct? Well, in math class, 9.25 times 5.25 is indeed 48.5625. However, in science class, we have to look at these measurements. 9.25 meters, 5.25 meters. So this 9.25 meters means it's somewhere between 9.24 and 9.26. There's error in that hundredth position. So it's really not right to be able to give our answer all the way down to the 10,000ths position of a square meter. And so in science class, we end up having this is our correct answer, 48.6 meters squared. So let's see how and why that is happening. All right, so as our notes packet says here, when multiplying or dividing in chem class, your answer should be rounded to the same number of sig figs as the measurement with the least number of sig figs. So here we have a multiplication and division problem. When you type these numbers into your calculator, these are the numbers that you'll get. Mathematically correct answers. But in chemistry, we got to watch the sig figs. 7.55, 3 sig figs. 0.34, 2 sig figs. That 0 in front is cosmetic. And so my answer can only have two numbers, 2 sig figs. So this 2.567 needs to get rounded appropriately. So 2.5 are the two numbers I need, but the 6 says round that up. And so my answer is going to be 2.6. Same thing over here with division. 56.35, that's 4 sig figs. 63.5 is 3. So my answer can only have 3 sig figs, 3 numbers. Again, 0 in front, cosmetic. 0.887, and then the 4 says just drop that. So my correct answer would be 0.887. Again, you don't have to write that 0. With adding and subtracting, our rules are a little different. And so we see a sample here. With adding these 3 numbers, as our rule says, when we add or subtract, our answer should match the measurement with the least amount of numbers after the decimal point, our least accurate measurement. So 12.52, we have error in the hundredth spot. 349.0, error in the 10th spot. 8.24, error in the 100th spot. So my answer wants to match this measurement because it has the least amount of numbers after the decimal, our least accurate measurement. So 369.7, but the 6 tells me to round up, so I've got 369.8. Same thing with subtraction, error in the hundredth, error in the thousandths, so I want to match this measurement, 309.65, and the 6 tells me to round up. So I have 309.66. So now you want to take a look at the practice paper. Pause the video and I'll come back and give you the answers. But again, the main thing here is when we multiply and divide, like up here, we need to match sig figs. Our answer matches the least sig figs. And then when we add and subtract, we're looking at the decimals, how many numbers are after the decimal point. So again, try the practice and then check your answers. Alright, so here we see the answers to how many sig figs. Okay, so hopefully you're doing pretty well with this. Most of them are pretty straightforward, all non-zeros. So here we have 3 and 4. Zeros after the decimal, definitely. So that's why this measurement has 55.0 centimeters is 3. Zero sandwich over here, 50.05, that's 4. 2,750 miles, that's a naked 0. So that's just 3. Unlike this one, 250 point miles, that means we count that 0. So there's 3 sig figs there. Same over here at 25.00 milliliters is 4. If someone didn't take the time to measure to the hundredth, they would just say 25 milliliters. But when it's written down like that, that means it was measured and the error is there. 32 students, an infinite number, or you can put unlimited, but the sig figs don't really matter because that's something we can count, 32 students. Alright, and then here's an example when we got zeros in the front and back. The front ones do not count, they are always placeholders, but the one after the non-zero definitely does count, so we have 2 there. And so with our calculations, multiplying and dividing, again we want to check our sig figs. So you can see I've highlighted the measurement in those problems that has the least number of sig figs, and that's how many you need to match in your answer. So with 2 sig figs here, I can only have 2 numbers in my answer. 3 sig figs here, 3 numbers in my answer. Both of these have 3 for number 3, so I have 3 numbers in my answer. And then number 4 here, 2 sig figs, so 2 numbers in my answer. When we add and subtract, we match the decimal position, numbers after the decimal. So 49.3 is to the 10th, so my answer is to the 10th. 33 is a whole number, so my answer is a whole number. To the 100th here, to the 100th here, and then again a whole number, a whole number. Alright, hope that makes sense, and good luck on our quiz coming up.